Hi there, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Wendy Margolin, and I help clinicians grow your practice or healthcare business with content marketing. I am live here every Thursday morning, and I'm really happy to be talking to you today. I'm going to talk to you about Instagram stories. And if you stick around till the end, if you're watching this now or later, stick around because I am going to let you know how you can get access to 13 slides of free stories that I will show you that you can customize, use, and reuse every week. So let's dive in first to Instagram stories. Now, I don't know about you, but have you ever met an influencer in real life? So, most likely you have. There's a lot of influencers out there and micro influencers. That's just our world. Maybe you are one. Maybe your kid is trying to be one. Maybe that is their goal. We used to wish to be like doctors when we were kids and lawyers or firemen or policemen, and now like our kids want to be YouTube stars, right? So but think back to, if you can, remember a time when you first met an influencer. So I remember the first time that I did in real life. I was in a department store and I saw an acquaintance with her tween kid, and she's walking around and like just shooting photos and quick videos and talking into her phone with the kind of enthusiasm that we usually reserve for our friends, and just all around the store, not having so much interaction with the kid who was with her, and loads of interaction with the phone and all the clothing that she was showing and recording for Instagram. So the first time I saw that, I was like, that is exhausting. And I felt really grateful to be this sort of like sandwich generation of parents where my first three kids I raised really before everyone had a smartphone. I mean, I like kind of had one, but it wasn't what it was today. Meanwhile, my youngest child, my fourth, practically has an iPad as like an extension of his limb, right? So we can kind of relate. So I remember the before, and the during, and here we are in the after, right? So say what you will about what smartphones and social media have done for our lives. That is a discussion for another time. But what I want to talk to you about is um, creating stories without having to be that person who is documenting every moment of your life and making something out of every opportunity that happens throughout your day, right? Because to me, that sounds really exhausting. And I know for my audience, you are busy clinicians. You barely have time to focus on social media at all, let alone to be documenting all of these moments throughout your day in your personal life or in your work. So, how can we use stories in a way that helps you grow your practice, grow your business without having to document every minute? Now, more power to those clinicians who are out there who have been able to do this. And I have, this is not a judgment on someone who is an influencer. The challenge, though, is that when you are not interested in doing that, how can you still stay relevant and use stories to have conversations with your audience? So let's first talk about what is the purpose of Instagram stories. Now, there are obviously stories on Facebook. They're just not used as much. LinkedIn actually had stories for like 5 minutes last year, and it was a total bust. And they actually just disappeared one day. Like, I don't even know if there was an announcement. So when we talk about sharing stories, those 24-hour posts, we are really talking about Instagram for the most part. All right. So why bother with sharing stories at all? So I pulled this stat from Hootsuite that 500 million people, this was from 2021, so probably earlier this year, 500 million people, that's half a billion people, use Instagram stories every single day. So obviously stories are important. People are looking at them. They do tend to see Instagram posts more than stories. Those do tend to get more engagement and more reach, but stories are still getting a massive amount of engagement and reach And hello, if you're just joining me, we're talking about how to use Instagram stories in order to reach more people and grow your following, grow your practice, or your healthcare business. So, people are clearly using stories. In addition to that, more importantly, for those of you who are running a practice, a healthcare business, and if you're a practice, you're both of those things, right? 58% of people say they've become more interested in a brand or a product after seeing it in the story, seeing something, engaging in a story. So, stories let you engage with your audience. And I know people don't love to think about selling when you're a clinician, but the truth is that you are offering a service that you need people to use, right? So that's selling. Okay. So Instagram really lets you bring people along the journey of what it takes from going from awareness, knowing about what it is that you offer, what your services, how you can help, to actually you working with you, getting that help, making an appointment, giving you their email, whatever it is, that is your goal on Instagram. All right, so that is why I use stories in general. Now let's talk about so how you can use stories. So most likely you've done the very basic thing, which is to share a post to your stories. So maybe it's your own post that will help you get some more views on it, or maybe it is someone else's post. So what happens when you're sharing someone else's post is not only are you helping them get in front of your own audience, but it's actually the start of a conversation, which for those of you who are trying to use Instagram, which I hope all of you are, to collaborate with colleagues, to feel a little bit less alone in running your practice, to possibly get referrals, to create relationships, maybe even get a mentor, maybe mentor someone else. All these ways that you can use social media to connect with people in your field and in similar fields. Anytime you share someone's post, that actually becomes the beginning or a part of a conversation. So if you go into the messages of someone whose post you shared, there will be a record of the fact that you've already shared their content. So when you think about sort of like the social bank, right? You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You have some reciprocity there where you've already done a simple kindness, of sharing their post to a wider audience. So it sort of is a very easy way to open a door of conversation with people that you want to be connected with. This might be with your someone who's like in your target audience of prospective patients or clients, but more likely in your case, it's more likely a colleague where you're starting a conversation. So those are the easiest ways to use stories, and you're probably already doing that. Next on the ladder of using stories, and I'd say even more effective, or actually just really a different kind of way to use it and purpose, would be to do a quick video, to go live. You don't have to run around and document every part of your day, but you could have a goal of maybe doing that once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever it is that works for you. So you can have that goal to do a quick video. These are super easy. The understanding is that it's not like produced in a fancy way. You don't need a fancy light. You don't need a fancy mic. You could literally just hop on, hold your phone in front of you, and give over any news in your practice, in your life, or in your industry. Right. So I've seen a lot of clinicians. I hope you're following Dr. Lucy McBride. She is one of my clients, and she's incredible. And she's done incredible job of replacing the fear that people have felt throughout the pandemic with facts, right? So you're not obviously going to get rid of all fear, but that's gotten to the heart of trying to help people understand the data. And she's been just really a powerhouse during the pandemic. So Dr. Lucy McBride, so she would be an example of someone who takes a lot of the articles, the medical articles, things she's seeing on Twitter, and she just breaks it down. So when there's news in your industry and something you want to share, a story is a great way to do that. You can just hop on. It's very quick. It's very easy. You could actually even add like an image from your phone. So if you take a screenshot of the article, you could add that in over while you're talking to your video. In your video, you could record Before, if you don't like going live, you could record before, save it on your phone, and upload it into a story. Okay, so those are, it gets a little trickier there. I'm not going to go into the details, but stories are 15 seconds. So it gets a little bit, there's a little bit, it's a little bit easier to just go live and talk because then you're not limited in time in terms of those 15 seconds. Okay, so that would be going live in stories. Another way would be to do a weekly Q&A. I love this for clinicians because people have so many questions that you can quickly answer, and then they see you as a source for someone who can solve their problems, right? Obviously, Instagram's not therapy. Instagram is not telehealth. Like, these are not the things that you would be doing on there, but quick general questions, like frequently asked questions that a lot of people have that you can quickly answer. You're helping more people, and you're also setting yourself up as a person who people can think of when they have this problem that needs solved, right? So it helps with your word of mouth. Maybe they're telling someone else, oh yeah, you should go to so and so, she gives great advice, I follow her, I've been following her for a long time, whatever. You can hear how that word of mouth can just kind of spread if you're doing a weekly Q&A. So the way you would do that is to put the stories question on up, right, over a post. You could do it over a video. You could do it over a static image that you pull up from your phone. You could just create it right in the stories and just say, ask me anything. I'm answering questions tomorrow or later today. And then you can reshare the answers of those questions. So you could do that in text, typing it in, or you could hop on your phone and just quickly answer those frequently asked questions. I love that. What else can you do on stories? So you can do a poll. A fun way to do a poll is to, let's say you're painting your office. You could ask like which paint. You could show the two paints, right? Let's say you're opening more hours during one evening. You could ask about which evening is better, this one or that one, right? So those are the kinds of things you could ask. You could just do fun ones. What are you doing? Are you a cat person, dog person, right? And maybe you're showing a photo of your dog or your cat. The reason to put a little bit of that personality in there, and I know that sometimes this is a little funny for people who are clinicians, but it is social media. So you're showing up on the platform in the way that people expect you to. Obviously, you want to respect your personal and professional boundaries, whatever makes you comfortable, but there are plenty of things about you personally that aren't personal that you could share there if you're comfortable. If you follow a lot of people in your field, you'll start to see people do this where they share something and they still frame it and work it into your practice or business without getting too personal, but you could still show some personality. So doing polls are really effective. The cool thing about polls is that, let's say you have like a new daily chart, right? Something you want to be able to collect emails from your followers, and you've put together some kind of like freebie, some kind of chart. You could say, you could let people know about it. Do you want this? And one option is yes, and the other option is like not yet, not now. Like, obviously it gives them an option of not saying no. Right? So you're gonna have people that don't vote at all. You're gonna have people that say yes, and you give them the freebie. And if they say not yet, then say, oh, and you could still message them. There's still like an opening if you wanted to be like, hey, let me know if there's something else you would find more useful. Right? It opens up a conversation by running a poll. Another fun way to use stories, and I've done this before, where I've done like Tuesdays IG takeover, where I let a clinician take over my Instagram. So I share their stories on my account. That's a really fun way to introduce new people to your audience and to introduce your audience to a clinician who you are collaborating with, or who you support, or who's offers something that correlates with what you do, but not exactly. Right. And again, that gets back to like that reciprocity where you're giving before you're asking for a referral. Okay, so those are some ideas. Now, a really easy way to do this, and without having to like hop on and necessarily do a video or think of what you're going to do, is to have some stories templates that you can access in your phone. So that is what I have, and I actually made that for you. I am going to share my screen and show you guys what I made for you for anyone who joins the Clinicians Social Media Club this month. So, this Clinician Social Media Club is monthly fill in the blank captions that I write for clinicians that correlate with Canva customizable templates. So every month you get a batch of general captions as well as captions for all the healthcare hashtag holidays for that month. And all of those match up with Canva templates. I tell you which one to match it with. I try to make it really easy. I also have a virtual assistant who I partner with who can help you actually implement it so that you would fill in the blank on the captions, hand it all over to her, and she customizes it for your brand and schedules it. So, what this is a way to get consistent and have branded and authentic content on social media as a clinician with literally as little time as possible for a super affordable price. It's only $47 a month. And this month, I'm giving away for everyone who joins this month, I'm giving away stories templates, Instagram stories templates that you will get in addition to the 20 Canva slides and the captions. I'm going to show you the stories. I'm going to share my screen and I will actually show you, I'll actually show you the whole thing. So here we go. All right. Here are the stories that I made so you can see what I was talking about here. So this would be, so an example of the way that you would use this one. These are all 13 and let me walk you through. So this one, what I would do is I left this in here for you, but I would actually delete this. And then in the future, you could add this like once a week. You could add whatever text you want there right in the stories. So you're not having to like make it in Canva. You just would keep this in your phone and you can customize it for your own colors. You can change whatever colors you want, like this. So it's totally customizable. You can change anything you want on it. I'm going to add that back. But you could use that once a week and post a reminder. All right, this is a Q&A. You can change this. You can change the colors, change whatever you want. You would put your photo in there or your business or practice logo in there. And you would put that question sticker right over here. You put your username. You can use this over and over. You adjust the colors and make it yours. Later, when you answer, you put the question here again so you know people know what you're answering. And then you can actually just put type right over this. I recommend using voice dictation. It's much easier, but type your response right over here, or you could just use videos to answer the questions. Here's another example of Q&A, same thing. This is a series of slides that you can adjust for your brand and your practice, but it is to actually tell a story. So you could say how we work at whatever practice, and then you would show these different slides of how you work. You could add more, add less. It could be like why you should get a flu shot. It could be how to know if your teen needs a therapist, like whatever it is you want to, how to fill in the blank. You can tell that story in several slides here. Those take a little more time. So I would only do those if you have some help. This is an example of like the this or that. So the way I would use this is I actually would delete these. And then when you are using it, and you could delete this too, just keep the help us choose. And then you can type in what you want them to choose directly in your stories and add like the two pictures right over the stories with the poll sticker and let people choose. This is if you're going live with someone. These are just blank. So if you want to like just type something or just add a post or something, you could have that be on brand by having these like just these stories templates in your phone, and you can change this to your colors. I put a video in the background. You could put whatever you want in the background. This is the same thing, and you could again put anything you want in the background. So those are the stories bonus for anyone who joins the Clinician Social Media Club by October 31st to get your November Canva templates and captions. Let me just show you the templates. So they are in sort of Thanksgiving fall colors, but obviously you would change them to your brand colors. If you're not sure how to do these things in Canva, I actually give you a Canva mini course when you join that you can watch. And I have open office hours once a month for members where we go over and troubleshoot on anything you're struggling with. But these are the templates, and you can change the text, you change the colors, you change the images, you make these whatever you want, but these are prompts so you know the kind of thing to put in there. And these are the captions. Okay, so each month you get general captions, promotional, which is where you let people know how they can work with you, relatable, which is where you let people you're being social, right? You're showing that you're relatable, that you are the right person to solve their problem. Inspirational, think of like those quote type posts. These are the captions for that. Conversational, getting your audience to talk back to you, right? Whether that's people you want to refer to you or prospective clients or patients. And then educational. These are things that you're letting your audience know about how you can help, the ways that you help. In addition to that, you get monthly captions for whatever are the hashtag healthcare holidays. So awareness months, awareness weeks, certain awareness days. So there's definitely a mixed batch. They're not all going to work for you, but definitely some of them will. It depends on what your area of expertise is. And at the very least, these will all work for you, these general ones. So that's the Clinicians Social Media Club. And the way that you can join is by going to the link that I put in this post, sparkermarketing.com/membership. I'd love to have you. It's $47 a month. And yes, you can cancel at any time. You just need to cancel before the next batch comes out. But I hope you won't cancel. People really have been enjoying it, appreciating it, staying in it since when we started in August. So check it out. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I would love to have you. And thank you so much for joining me. I will be back next week talking to you again live Thursday morning, 11 a.m. See you then.